Right, guys, it's been a week since I've done a podcast. We are back. And today in my home we have Vas and we have Emily from Swindon Hub. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
So I've been into Swindon Hub. I think it must have been a couple of months ago now that I came to see you, didn't I, Emily?
Yeah.
And had a look around, and there's so much going on in there that just had to get them on the podcast as guests and talk about all the amazing work they're doing there. So where is best to start, and with who?
So with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yes,
Emily.
we met. Like you say, a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
So the Swindon Hub is based on the parade in the centre of Swindon. For anyone that doesn't know where it is, and actually it's a completely volunteer-run space. So whilst there's myself, Vas, and our colleague Rian, who we're hub coordinators, so we're funded by the National Lottery, and we have different focuses. Our roles sort of have different focuses. The day-to-day running in the hub is a complete team of volunteers, which is really amazing. And we're open Tuesday to Saturday, 10 till 5. And it's just a space, really, that anyone can come through the door at any point in time. We have a very low-cost cafe. There's a very small children's play area. There's a book swap. There's a gallery space. We've got a pool table. We've got table tennis upstairs. And then I will hand over to Vas a bit later to talk about, we've got lots of regular groups that run that again are completely free. Anyone can come in, join the groups, and really it's a space that's set up to be about, I'd say, connection, people being able to connect, a safe space, hopefully a calm space most of the time, and one of the bits of feedback I hear a lot in my role, sort of outreach and inclusion, is about the space being really important, that you can come into town and not spend any money. I think a lot of people, they think, if I have to go into Swindon Town Centre, it's going to cost me X or Y to go and do anything. And actually I think that's the real beauty of the hub, is that we've got a cafe where we keep the costs as low as possible. We get sandwiches from Prospect Hospice, so we also support another charity. Obviously, they take a percentage, we take a percentage, so it supports both, but also we keep those costs really low. But also equally, people can come in and not use the cafe. People can come in and use the cafe tables and bring their lunch from home if they just want to come in and spend time with other people. We don't sort of police that. It's not, hang on a minute, like lots of cafes, you can't eat that because you've brought it in from outside. You can't have that drink because you've just got it from Tesco's on a meal deal, or it was reduced. We're very much like, no, come in, use the space. If you want to buy something from the cafe, great. If you just want to come in and sit and join a group, peruse the books, sit on your own, chat to somebody, the sort of options are endless, really, I would say.
I think that's great, because some people might come in and feel quite nervous, and then when you take that red tape away, just come in, and then they hopefully will return them, won't they? And then they might spend, and if they don't find, if they do, great, so I think that's really important, isn't it? All inclusive. Would you say, because you offer so much, obviously we'll go into it, but would you say predominantly who accesses it? Is it families, or?
It's a real mixture.
It is a large diversity.
We have surveyed, obviously, as lots of charities do, when you're sort of trying to look at who's actually using us. And in what surprised me in the last round of surveys, that the data that I looked at, we actually, in terms of data, we sort of match the Swindon census. So in terms of percentages of different diversities, thinking about from multicultural perspective, we sort of match in terms of percentages. I would say we don't have that many younger people coming in. I'd say sort of under 30s is an area that we don't have as many, but we do get a lot of little ones coming in with parents to use the play area. And then I'd say sort of above 75, we get a lot less people. And I think some of that is also for us at the moment is to do with accessibility. We are fundraising desperately to fix our lift.
Yes.
Our lift is broken, and without that we haven't got accessible toilets. So that does cause a problem, but we're working really hard. We've had an initial fix done, we've spent the money. There's about another 5 and a bit grand to be spent.
Wow.
But we've got some brilliant support. Zurich, somebody came in from Zurich, and she was so impassioned that she set us up a fundraiser where Zurich match fund. So for every donation, if someone gives 20 quid, Zurich give 20 quid. So we're working really hard on that, and sort of grant applications, etc., to hopefully get us running, because I think that then opens us up even more. Because we often have people just coming on the high street saying, can I just use the loo?
Yeah.
They just need a space that they're not trying to find a toilet.
Yeah.
They're not again, worrying about going into coffee shops where quite often you can't use the loo unless you've got the key code or whatever from the receipt. You know, we just try to be an open space for that. But yeah, so I'd say it's a real mix of people that come through the door.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Yeah, which is brilliant. Just what we want it to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're getting more and more volunteers now in our team. We've got a link with the Harbour Project. So we've got lots of volunteers coming in where maybe English isn't their first language. But that gives us a really richness. So we get more people in where English isn't their first language. There can often be someone who can help with that translation.
Yeah.
And I think the team is just really good at helping people to access the right support.
Yeah.
You know, if there's somebody that speaks the same language or somebody that's going through the same experience or has experience of, you know, mental health services in Swindon, for example, or, you know, school services, all sorts of people. You hear people, they get chatting. Oh, have you heard of this place? Have you heard of that place? Have you tried here? Have you gone there? Which I think is another thing that just makes it a really great community space.
Yeah. Somebody's drumming in the background. That's never happened before. I hope that's not putting anyone off. I can just hear that.
No.
No, they're not drumming, they're soaring. It sounds like a drum, sorry. Hilarious. No, that's really, really good. Do you have so if someone came in and they were not in a good place, shall we say, are you able to signpost to other places to maybe give them that support that they need?
Yeah, I guess we would often, I think our volunteer team are a real range of abilities and knowledge.
Yeah.
So we have a shift lead on each shift who very much would be able to do a lot of key signposting. What I would say is no one is necessarily mental health trained, for example. I know you have mental health first aiders in workplaces often. No one has necessarily got that level to be able to consistently offer that, is what I'd say.
Yeah.
But what I would say is, what I've certainly seen, and Vaz, I think you've probably seen it too, is if somebody comes through the door and they're having a hard time, we've got this amazing team of volunteers who will take the time, will sit and listen, will work to help, will signpost to those appropriate agencies, even if they can't necessarily offer that level of, you know, sort of trained support, for want of a better word.
But it is just about listening, isn't it? Giving the time, isn't it? That's very powerful.
Absolutely. And I think so often that's the thing, what we hear from people is the waiting lists for any form of support are so long, or hitting the right criteria, ticking the right boxes. And actually what we try and do, and what our volunteer team try to do, is to just be that friendly face to say, come and have a coffee, come and have a chat. You know, if you don't want to have a chat, read a book. What do you need to feel most comfortable? I think they are a team that is really, really good at that. And recognising when people might be struggling a bit and saying, what can we do? Can we help? Or actually, do you just need to be in a space with others but be left on your own? And I think a lot of them are really brilliant at being really sensitive to that sort of need in the community.
They absolutely are. 'Cause, I've had a few times when customers or volunteers have come to me and they've literally just needed a chat, and I've just sat down, and sometimes I can help with signposting. So if people are having hardship issues, I've helped them to access food banks and told them where they can self-refer with Mind to access some mental health help. And I've started redesigning the display boards that we have in the hub, and one of them is going to be dedicated to easy to access information for safeguarding. So if people are scared or not confident enough to approach someone and actually talk about it, there'll be information on this is how you can access food banks and hardship funds and stuff. Somewhere to go, if you're in domestic violence and you don't know where to go, or it's not safe for you, there's information right there on the board, so you can just take a quick photo or something. And also areas to access mental health and get extra support in that capacity as well.
No, it's really, really good that you have all of that.
And I think we're always keen to grow our signposting, because what we're so aware of is, you know, you've got your statutory services, but there is so much that goes on in Swindon that are run by charities, voluntary sector organisations that maybe we don't know about. And things change all the time because the funding cycles change all the time. So whilst Vaz is working on those boards, we've also in our entrance, we've got sort of a poster wall. We have lots of local events and offers, but underneath that there are some folders which are titled, you know, housing and homelessness, you know, mental health and well-being, and as we find out about offers, that information gets slipped into those folders so people can come in and look and refer. So we're always interested as well to hear from people going, we're doing this great bit of work, you know, we'd love to add, we can't always put everything on the wall because we've only got so much space, but those folders, we're always trying to grow them.
There is so much as well, which is what I'm obviously trying to get as many as I can onto the podcast. And there's lots of CICs as well, more and more CICs popping up, so just trying to investigate, what do you do and what's kind of your aim. And
absolutely.
But yeah, there is a lot of support out there, but just people don't always know how to find that, so that's brilliant.
It's not always the easiest to track down. And I think sometimes when I've certainly had it in the past, not so much in this job, but in other jobs, you think, oh, there's that service, and you look and then their funding's expired, so that service is gone. Something else may have taken that funding, another charity or organisation, but it can be quite a minefield to sort of work out and find it. So we also, I think, are really keen to sort of keep all those conversations going, and when people come in, you know, gleaning that information and then finding posters and things that can go into those packs of information that people can come and refer to.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, what shall we go on to next?
Do you want to talk a bit about the regular groups?
All of our regular groups are free to access, unless stated otherwise, but that happens very rarely. We have quite a large variety of groups as well, from like craft groups, creative writing. We have some exercise and like physical ones as well. So a new one that we have is Momentum Dance, where it's the instructor Jacob does a new style of dance every week. So anything from like the salsa to hip hop and even voguing, which is really fun.
That's cool.
So that is it's all inclusive, so it doesn't matter what your age is, what your background is, anything like that. Everyone is welcome. The only downside, which is linked to our lift fundraiser, is it's in the upstairs area. So we would love for it to be fully accessible to everyone, and very hopefully in the future that will be possible. But for people who do have accessibility issues, we do have a seated exercise class as well that runs monthly. So the elderly or people on wheelchairs, or people who are just starting to get into exercise that want to access something free and gentle, are welcome to come and join in with that. And just every now and then we get new groups starting up. We've just got a retro gaming one that will be starting in a few weeks.
Cool.
That's focusing on like old school board games and just like a nice chill group for people to come and have fun and socialise, and
Oh, that's really nice.
We've got a great there's an IT group that meet twice a week.
3 times.
3 times a week. You know, people can just come in and bring their technology and say, I'm having a problem with my phone, I'm having a problem with my laptop, and you know, they're just volunteers, but if they can, they'll lend a hand. You know, they'll try and sort people's hard drives out, or you know, if people are having connectivity issues, they're there and they're very willing to just lend a hand, which is, you know, and I think that's it with most of the groups. You know, the people sort of turn up and they can just join in. They can come once, we have some people that come very regularly and consistently, and then we have others that just now and again pop in to do an art group for an afternoon or join in. We've got Kijong upstairs, is always really popular and well attended, you know, and people will just pop into that and they might take a couple of weeks off and then they come back. But the lovely thing is there is no pressure. You don't have to sign up, you don't have to pay any money, you just come when it feels right.
Which is great, isn't it? No pressure, just come if you can. If you can't, that's fine. That's really, really good.
And I think the best way to find out really about our groups on our socials, isn't it? On Instagram and
Paul
Facebook.
does a fantastic job of advertising them. We also have a big group detailed description as well, just inside the hub as well. So some of them have odd names, so if people want more information, it's just inside on our info board in the hub, like a detailed breakdown of like, what does this group do and when do they run and who can join in and everything.
Fantastic. I think when I came in there was a group of guys sat in the cafe as well, which is quite nice, seeing group of men together, maybe talking, and
Yeah,
which obviously need to encourage more, you know.
absolutely. And we definitely notice there are groups that meet there
Mm.
that are not necessarily part of our regular group schedule. They
Yeah.
just have chosen that that's a good place for them to meet and chat. And there was a group the other day I saw they had all photos and things all over the table. They were looking at old photos, and
Oh,
I don't know whether they're old friends, whether they're colleagues, I don't know what their links are.
yeah.
But they come in, I think, every couple of weeks, and they just sort of use a corner of the cafe and they have a coffee and they do whatever they're doing and then they go.
Mm.
And I think that's the other thing, is if people want to use us as a little space to just
Yeah.
get together and do something, that's
Yeah.
fine. And we also offer hireable space. So if there
Okay.
are organisations that want to hire, you can hire the upstairs space, you can hire our snug, you can hire, people can display artwork in the gallery at very low cost. Lots of places come and use sort of some of our front tables at the entrance to sort of promote their charity or their event or their business, and it's just about, again, making things accessible to the community.
Yeah.
Not long ago we had the NHS came in and did blood pressure checks
Yeah.
for a day. You know, just anyone walking past that wanted a free blood pressure check and some
Yeah.
signposting could come in and use it. So we get a lot of things that pop up like that where external people choose to book and use us, which is fantastic, and we're always on the lookout for
Mm.
anyone that wants to come in and do that.
I think when I came in, you had artwork up from Horizons, didn't you?
Yes.
Because I said I homed in on a piece. It was really interesting, and I just went to this one piece, and then I looked at the name and I knew the child.
That's
I'd done drawing and talking with them. That was
Yeah,
one
it's
piece
lovely.
I just went to.
They will be back later in the year as well.
Yeah.
With another exhibit. We've just had it like freshly cleaned and repainted as well.
Oh.
And we have 2 new mini galleries as an extension for it as well. So newer artists or artists with just like a smaller collection of work have a space that's less intimidating than the main gallery.
Mm.
So they are like welcome to come and display their work on that area as well. So people in the cafe area can like gaze at their beautiful work.
Oh, I love that.
Mm.
So nice. You offer so much. I was so impressed when I came. It was fantastic. I'm going to ask you some questions about, you know, what drew you to do this job. But is there anything else before I move on that you want to talk about that Swindon Hub offers?
I guess the other thing is I was just thinking about it, some bits we haven't mentioned is we've got a connection with the night shelter.
Okay.
So they receive Amazon returns, and they come in and we have an area, and you never quite know what you're going to get.
Yeah, yeah.
But they sell it, I think, at a quarter of the cost it would have been full price.
Yeah.
So people come in and have a little rummage around. Sometimes there's great stuff, sometimes it's a bit hit and miss.
Yeah.
But at Christmas time there was loads of, gift sets of toiletries and things. So it's also about people being able to find things that are affordable, both for them and possibly for gift giving. We have a small retail area where we have local retailers and craftspeople who can, maybe they're not doing things on a huge scale, but they may want to sell. We quite often have knitting or jewellery or photography there, and then we also have another little section where we have what we call our hub shop, where we actually have donations of clothing and things, and we sell them at a really low cost.
Yeah.
To try and support the community really.
Yeah.
So there's lots going on, and I guess the only thing that seems appropriate to mention is on the 28th of May now in half term we're doing a spring family fun day.
Oh, lovely.
In the hub, so we're looking at things like a tombola and hopefully some face painting and maybe hook a duck and lots of sort of fun activities that families can sort of just come and get involved with.
Yeah.
Hopefully going to have a little clown show and some circus workshops upstairs.
Oh,
And
brilliant.
I think the Abe's Brick Corner, I think, that do Lego, we're going to come in and
Yeah, I've seen them.
so I think
Brilliant.
it should be a really great day. We're just sort of firming up that programme now this
Yeah.
week, and then we should start to get that out. So
Yeah.
yes, if anybody's listening that would like to come along,
I'll look out for the
It should
posts
be-
as well, because I do try and share.
yeah,
the
it should
bits
be
and
really good
everything.
fun.
Yeah, that's really good. Anything else before I ask you questions?
I don't think so. Have you got anything else?
No, I think that's yeah.
So I'll start with you, Emily.
Yeah.
What led you to come and work at Swindon Hub?
Oh
What
god.
was your?
I was born and bred south of Swindon,
Mhm.
and I went to New College many moons ago, and actually my career's been a bit of a strange one really.
Mhm.
I was worked within stage management in the theatre for many, many years in London.
Oh wow.
And then I did a job in Brixton Prison and got really interested in sort of social justice and working, within the sort of community and social sector. So somebody said to me, go and get a degree in social work, which I did, and did some time in children's social services and then in homelessness in London. Then the pandemic hit and it was obviously chaos. Then I had a baby. And then we relocated back to this area last year.
Yeah.
And I basically knew at that point I was doing sort of administration work because it just fitted, as it does for so many people when you have a family. You just find the thing that fits, that means you can be, home enough and around enough for your kids. And I saw the job at the Hub and thought, I'd really like to get back into sort of that community work.
Yeah.
And saw that it was outreach and inclusion and getting out into the community, which is something I really enjoy doing, and thought, well, I'll give that a stab, really. Put an application in, and before I knew it, that was sort of it. So it's it's a busy job. I'd say. We were talking about it in the car on the way over, weren't we? We were saying it's one of those jobs where it's sort of a little bit wonderfully bonkers. Like no 2 days are the same, and the challenges that come up and the work that like we've been talking about that we're trying to do is really important. That's sort of a bit of a windy, windy way for me to find myself doing sort of outreach and inclusion work in a community hub. There's sort of, and I think that's the big thing that I always say to people, there's no sort of hard and fast rule in terms of career.
No.
I think so often people think, well, if I pick this thing, certainly young people I ever speak to, but if I do that qualification, then I have to do this. It's like, well, you might for a period, or you might decide, and I found that all the different jobs I've done throughout my career in different, both from the theatre through to events, through to social services and working in homeless hostels, like those skills you build, you just draw on them all the time. And there's often times that I find myself using skills that I probably learnt 15 years ago to skills that I learnt 2 years ago, and they change and they develop, and I think that's one of the things I really enjoy, is sort of that mishmash of all of it. And applying it to this sort of work where there is a mishmash of stuff that goes on, so it sort of fits.
Yeah. Good. Okay, Vaz.
So I'm a disabled lady. I'm a wheelchair user, and for a very long time I really struggled with being able to access work and so many medical appointments, and it was very difficult basically. And a couple of years ago, one of my counsellors suggested, hey, you should go to Voluntary Access Swindon and do this course in confidence and motivation. And I was like, okay, well, I don't have anything to lose and I could definitely work on those areas. And on the last day of that course, the lecturer suggested go and visit the Hub because they're always looking for new visitors and new volunteers. So I was like, okay, well, I don't have anything to lose. So so I went to visit the Hub and I just stayed in there, had a little coffee, got like the vibe of the place. And I thought, actually, this is really nice. This is a really nice environment. I liked how diverse it was, how everyone was just welcome. I loved all of the free groups and activities that they had on offer, and I just liked the jumble of everything that was on offer and how it was all local community led. So I put my application and I started as a volunteer there. After a few months, I was promoted to the shift lead position, so I had a bit more responsibility. And then I started bonding with more of the volunteers, and they started coming to me and asking for advice and stuff, and I was like, okay, well, I'll help as best as I can. And then I was kind of at a point in my life where I had a good handle on my disabilities at this point, because I am autistic and I have ADHD as well as being physically disabled as well. I've been working so hard, and I managed to get to a point where I was pretty stable. Nothing else was going wrong. And I was just really bored, and I needed something more meaningful at this point. And I had applied to so many jobs, but people just aren't interested. As soon as they learn that you're physically disabled, they don't even give you the opportunity, which is really sad. And for like 95% of the jobs I applied for, I just didn't even hear back.
Wow.
And then the ones where I did go to, obviously I turn up in a wheelchair and then you don't hear from them after that. So I just need something more meaningful. And I was like, I was swinging between going back to uni and applying for more jobs. And I saw the Hub one advertised. And so I put in an application for uni and I put in an application for the job. And I was like, one of them might stick. That'll be good. Then I ended up getting both.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I ended up being accepted into uni with an unconditional offer and no interview. They were like, hell yeah, we want you. Let's do this. And then I did the job interview for the Hub on my birthday last year. And then the next day they're like, you're hired. And I was just like,
wow.
Okay, like everything's happening at once. Let's do this. Okay. And both are incredibly fun. Absolutely, I love my job and I love my degree course as well. But taking on both all at once was just like suddenly from nothing to like everything. It was it's been difficult figuring out like the work-life balance because my social life just sort of disappeared for a few months whilst I was learning how to juggle it. And honestly, I wouldn't change it though. It's I call myself the little Hub goblin because most of my work is like done behind the scenes, and so when the Hub is closed, I'm like in the Hub, like running around doing all the little things that I need to do. But it's been brilliant. I now feel like I have stuff that's worthwhile and like meaningful, and then building myself up more again. And hell of a lot of hard work, but it's also so much fun. And I wouldn't change it.
Can I ask what your degree is in?
I am doing a degree in media, makeup and hair artistry.
Cool.
So anything that you can think of that's involved with like TV production, where it comes to hair, costume, makeup, prosthetics, even like prop building and costume design. I'm learning how to advance my skills in that.
Wow.
Because I was a self-employed like makeup artist for a while before I had to accept that I had limitations and needed to work on the health side of things. Because I did the BTEC version of it way back when I was a teenager. And I was like, I really want to do this again. I'd been humming and hawing about it for so long. And it was actually Sue Bardwell. She came in when I had started managing the gallery when I was still a volunteer. And she was like, the end of year show is on next week. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went along to that and I was like, this is really good. Like, I really miss this. I really want to go back. And I remember looking at my partner and being like, I'm going back to school, aren't I? And he's like, yeah, I think you are.
If when you feel it, it's your calling, then you've got to go with it, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. What an inspirational story.
Yeah,
two of the best decisions I've ever made. Yeah.
So when will your degree be finished?
I'm in my first year and it's 3 years. Okay. So yeah, I've still got like 2.5 to go. But
Go you.
Thank you. Yeah. So much fun. Yeah.
You're obviously feeling good about yourself as well. And it's probably why people approach you at Swindon Hub and come and talk to you, because you're probably carrying yourself in a different way because you're feeling good.
I really hope so. Yeah. I hope that's
people
what's
pick up on stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you more approachable, then, doesn't it? And then, she's lived a life.
You've just done an amazing mural, haven't you, across the front of our cafe counter?
Yes.
Have you?
Yeah, it looks incredible.
It should be finished by the end of today.
And then you're going to post it up?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Good.
My sister Ellie has been helping me with it as well, and so it's like a joint sibling.
So she's creative as well?
Oh yeah, we're both very artistic.
Yeah.
She will be having her paintings featured in one of the mini galleries for next month actually.
Oh, wow. Gosh, I wish I was artistic.
I know, it's a good job someone's creative because I'm really not.
No, I know, people think that I must be. They're like, oh, you're drawing and talking, so you must be an artist. I go, no, they draw, they talk, I hold the space. I draw stick people. I'm not creative in that sense. Fab. Yeah. Oh, I love it. So this is the thing, is hearing people's stories and what led you to what you do now. So, and giving back, and it's very rewarding, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we have a bit of fun as a team, don't we? Sort of, there's the sort of three of us that I guess, our hub coordinators, and
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, you and I are the like Vaz and I are the equivalent of one full timer.
Yeah.
And then Ree works full time, and we, you know, we have a nice time. We support each other, and
Oh yeah, it's great.
yeah.
They're both excellent colleagues to work with.
Oh,
It's so
that's
much
what you
fun.
want, isn't it?
Yeah, we have quite a nice time when the three of us get together. Although sometimes you think, oh, hang on, we've got to get a bit of work done now. We're sort of talking about what could we do. We get all overexcited, don't we? About what could we do next in the hub, and what can we work on, and how can we improve this or change that. And then we think, hang on a minute, let's just finish the project we've got on over here before we go running over there. So
that's good though.
No, it's great.
Brainstorming ideas and things. That's good. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else that you want to talk about today?
I think I've covered all of my parts.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that, you know, I'm and I don't know if I speak for both of us, probably do, that I think we're just really blown away, and obviously Vaz has been a volunteer by the level of dedication of the volunteers. You know, because
Absolutely. Yeah.
it just wouldn't exist.
No.
You know, there's a trustee board that are all volunteers. You know, everyone that keeps the doors open are all volunteers, and it is the thing that's so lovely. It's just genuine people just volunteering their time because they care.
Yeah.
Because they care about people having a space, having a space that's safe, that's warm, that's welcoming, that's accessible for people to come in and not feel like they can't be in the space.
Yeah.
And I think when you sort of look at the volunteer team, it's really quite inspiring, because a lot of our volunteers are overcoming various challenges in their own lives, and they still turn up and they dedicate their time, and they give that back to others, which is really amazing.
And we try to give back to the volunteers as well. So we have various training that is available for our volunteers. So people that need help with English, we have ESOL English classes, we have math classes, we also have a lady that helps people to write their CVs and teach them how to search for jobs and gain access to work through us as well. So as well as just being a good way of gaining some work experience, if you're looking at getting back into the working world, for something to put on your CV, we will also actively help you with this as well, and first aid training, fire safety training, and lots of little things like that are available through us as well if people are interested in volunteering. Brilliant. There's a lot of opportunities that we can help provide, basically. And if people just want to do a fun thing and set up their own group, that's also something that I can help with, because that's my role, is helping people with the groups.
I love it. Absolutely brilliant.
I think there's been 3 or 4 volunteers recently that have gone into paid employment, which is fantastic.
Oh, that's really
we're really
good.
sad to lose them as volunteers, of course we are, but we're so pleased for them going out and, and I think a few of them have done that through working with Lily, who does our sort of employability, confidence builder CV, and it's brilliant, and it's a really amazing thing as a space to be able to offer to people.
It's huge. It's just a bit of support and guidance, and then that confidence comes and self-esteem, and then so on their way to something bigger and rewarding. That's so great. Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant. Okay, so if that's everything,
then
we'll
thanks
leave
for
it there.
having us on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.